When we've asked in the past, what do you want to know about in these commentaries? One of the things you've mentioned is what's going on at 10 Capital and who is at 10 Capital. This week, we're going to introduce Sage Swanson. So Sage, thank you for letting me force you to do this. Sage is not someone who is desperately seeking camera time. No. But you've been with the firm for a year now?
A year. August 11th.
This is long overdue.
Yes.
But we've collectively got it together to make this happen. Let's just start with telling people a little bit about yourself, who you are, where are you from?
So I was born and raised in Boise, Idaho, and it's pretty similar to Spokane, a little bit smaller. I stayed there and finished community college, got my associate's degree in business, and then hopped on over to Whitworth, which is your alma mater as well. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed my time there, but I was only there for really a year and a half in my undergraduate's program studying business management. And apparently that wasn't enough, so I got my master's degree from Whitworth as well, and just finished that in December of 2020, so kind of a new master. Still learning a lot of things though, yeah. Not as it alludes.
Sage's background, we reached out, we were desperate for good help last year, and I reached out to a good friend of Whitworth and said, I need the best person you can possibly send over. She sent us Sage. We couldn't be happier with having you here at 10 Capital. We'll get into the unique start that we had in a minute, but any key hobbies, interests? What do you do when you're not here at the firm? Yeah. I know we try to keep you here as much as we can, but when you sneak away, what are you doing?
When I sneak away, so some may know I don't own a vehicle, and I kind of enjoy that lifestyle. I adopted it maybe in some unfortunate circumstances, but I basically walk or bike everywhere, which is not only good for my physical health, but my mental health as well. And so I really enjoy that lifestyle, being outdoors, being from Idaho. I learned to be in the mountains and to hang out with family. Biking is a huge passion of mine, so coming to 10 and discovering a Peloton was a pretty cool find.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you spent a lot of time on that Peloton.
Yeah.
What's one thing that would surprise people or something unique about you?
I've been to 46 states.
46?
46 states. And
where have you not been?
So I have not been to Alaska as of yet. I've not been to Michigan. Let's see if I can name them all. I have not been to Mississippi. I'm gonna not.
That's all right. That's pretty good. Far more than me. So here you are, and you may move on to other things. We obviously hope you'll stay here as long as you want. Your very first day you walked in, you said, just want you to know, I only plan on being here for a little while. I'm going to law school. Now, I'm not saying you've shut that door entirely, but, and we'll get into this a little bit more, now you're like, actually, this is pretty interesting. So I think the first thing that attracted you to the industry was, I need a job.
Good starting place.
But where are you at right now? Maybe just like, what has surprised you about the industry or 10 Capital to make you think like, actually, this might be a career for me?
What I really like about the industry is the appreciation of whoever the person is who leads it. You can really carve out your own space. You can kind of shape whatever you want to shape in your career and blaze your own trail. And I think it creates an appreciation for what your own personal interests and passions are, and finding a way to couple that within the industry. I think that's awesome. I think it's a little less structured than law, which gives you more freedom to have the autonomy to do that. And I think that's incredible for people who are wanting to push the boundaries versus do something that was already carved out for them.
Very cool, very cool. What's something that surprised you about 10 Capital and coming to this company? You've alluded to, like, this isn't what I expected, so what was different?
Totally. I think that 10 Capital does an incredible job at ensuring that this entire industry is sustainable. Mm-hmm. You find a way to make it relatable to any client who walks through the door. It doesn't matter how much, how little, it doesn't matter how old, how young, it's for everybody. And I think that's such a crucial part of people's education, because they go out and live full-time jobs, but this is our full-time job. And I think making them feel comfortable, making them feel like there's a level of trust, but it doesn't have to be old and outdated. It's fun, it's sustainable. I love the way that 10 Capital thinks about their clients.
Cool, appreciate that. What's a key client takeaway? And just by that, like, if I say client, right, and you've gotten to be in front of quite a few now, we'll let names stay quiet, of course, but what was something like, hey, this was impactful, whether it was hard, good, encouraging, exciting? What stands out?
Yeah, I think the key takeaway that I've learned from all of our clients is that if our clients are authentic and true to their goals and to their passions, not only does it make our job a lot easier, but they're just much happier people. And it doesn't matter how much they own, it's really about staying true to what their goals are. And if they can clearly communicate that, or even if they can't clearly communicate that, but we can help them clearly communicate that, I've noticed such an impact not only on my life, but also I think on theirs.
Very cool. Favorite experience so far? What's the thing that stood out?
Well, there's a lot of
things. You use the gym more than anyone that we know. We've had a client event finally during your time frame, but yeah.
There's been so many cool things about being here. The people I work with are incredible, and I really feel like it's a family dynamic. Ryan and I took on the first shuffleboard champion victory here at 10 Capital.
That's fair.
I think I'm pretty proud of that moment.
You've gotten very good. And
I have a weird hidden talent for shuffleboard, which I didn't know until I landed here. So
that's awesome. If you want, let you turn the tables. Do you have one question for me?
Okay, I think my question for you is 10 Capital, as we're sitting here today, what you envisioned it? If so, what are those things that led up to this vision? And if it's not, did it exceed, or are there things that you're still shaping?
That's a good question, and I'm doing this on the fly. It's clearly gone further faster than I think I anticipated, as audacious of goals as I like to set for myself. Community always drove it. This idea of being very relational was kind of that guide star. But how we've gone about doing it, like, did I envision having a gym in the thing, or a shuffleboard table, or throwing 30 plus events in a calendar year, or committing to a weekly commentary, all those different things? No, not exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
But again, as I've talked about and talked about with Matt a little earlier, in terms of conflicts of interest, as long as, for me, where we've got it right in a way that surely surpassed just my own thoughts or ideas, was when you just use that, genuinely use that, what's best for the client's mentality, what would I want? Mm-hmm. And then you're not afraid to take risks to do that, to put the work in to do it. Then there's here, but all that being said, none of this is possible if you're by yourself. So having people like yourself, of course, Jake's been alongside me since day one, and so many others, let alone then the clients, their feedback, their stories, to see that community be the goal, but then be the thing that not only comes about, but then becomes this self-fulfilling driving cycle, has been incredibly rewarding.
Thank you.
Well, thanks. Sage, you'll see her, hopefully, the world can hold itself together at an upcoming quarterly. And thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
We're so excited to have you. We'll see you next week.
See you soon.